Hello everyone, how are you doing today? So, we are going to attempt this very interesting problem or programming exercise called first non-repeating character. So it's 5Q, it's not that easy, but it's not difficult as well. So, let's begin. Let me zoom my screen a little bit. Okay, instructions. Write a function named first non-repeating letter that takes a string input and returns the first character that is not repeated anywhere in the string. For example, if given the input stress, the function should return t, since the letter t only occurs once in the string, yes, s twice, and we have R and E as well, but T is first and occurs first in the string. Okay. As another challenge, upon lowercase letters are considered the same character. So this is quite difficult already. But the function should return the correct case for the initial letter. For example, the input stressed should return T. Okay, if a string contains all repeating characters, it should return an empty string or non-C-sample test. So this is straightforward, to be honest, and already you know that you need to keep in track of the different letters. So here, a dictionary is the best data structure in my opinion, but it seems that we should also cater for the case here. As an added challenge, uppercase and lowercase letters are considered the same character. So when we are going to store it on the data structure, we should have the same. So we are going to be using a hash, a dictionary, and the key should be the same. Then maybe we should have a way to know if it is lowercase or uppercase. Therefore, we can use a tuple, of course, a key value pair, and the value is a tuple, and then we can just know if it is true or false. But I think a much easier way to do it, since we are also using C#, a much better way, in my opinion, is to use a class. You can use struct as well, but let's use a class, because struct, the problem is, let me write the codes down and then we will see how we can get over it. Okay, the first thing to realize is that, let me think how it works. Since we are going to be using a dictionary, we need to import the proper library, and we can do so using system, but I don't think it's going to be enough. So let me just get the data. Which system, which dictionary do we have to import? So I know it, collections, I think it's collections.generic, something like that. Yeah, systems.collection.generic, using system collections.generic. Yeah, it's good. And then now what we are going to do is just represent the data, and the data is going to be simple data structure. So you just keep the name public class data, so just keep the data structure here. And okay, public, we keep the letter that we need to keep, and is there a way to do it faster without having to type all of these? That's why I prefer using VS Code or even JetBrains IDEs, because when writing these codes actually on CodeWars or HackerRank, because it's much faster to get it. Get set, this is basic getter setter for so the count is important here because we need to know which letter occurs multiple times and just return the first one, and that's it, nothing more. Okay, that looks good right now. So we can increment it directly and so on and so forth, but let's put a method. I like using this approach whenever I use object-oriented anytime. So I prefer having a method that is I'm that explains what we are going to do. So here we can just change it to private, or only get it like this, something like that. But just for the case of boilerplate codes, we are just going to leave it like that. So what's going to happen, just I'm going to go quickly through a dry run. So the data, a letter will represent the data class. So we have s is lower, it should be true, and we are int. First time it's going to occur, it's 1, of course. And each time we are going to increment the count, it's just going to plus plus. That's it. Very simple, very easy. So let's begin with the very start, which is to just define the dictionary, new dictionary, and here is just boilerplate code, how to. So let's say if the thing is right now, if we didn't have to keep track of the lowercase and uppercase, we could have simply used int here. But it's a bit tricky if you are going to use int there, because we need a way to differentiate between using between knowing whether it is lowercase or uppercase. So here, I think the best is to simply keep a data structure. Like I said in the beginning, you can also use tuple though. So let's continue. Now what we are going to do is we are going to iterate through the letter here. So you can use for each normal, or you can also use for each, the normal for int, index, and so on, so forth. Okay, now we are going to take the lower version, because we need to keep in the key all the lower values. So we are just going to use the built-in char class and then have it to lower. So here in this case, it's not going to do anything in particular, but this one, everything is going to be everything is going to become lowercase. Okay, but eventually we need to know, and we are going to use this value is lower property to know if we should change it or not. So let's continue right now. The logic simple. This is very generic logic right now. So you want to simply if it does, you check if the key exists first. If it does, you just increment the value, and if it doesn't, then you create a new entry. You add a new value, a new key, and the value is just going to be the data here. So first, let's check if we have this value existing already. So we have different ways. This one is a recommended version because it is like it is safer against null or things like that. So we are just going to be using it. And in fact, we don't need to use curly braces for one line. So the value out here is what is returned. It uses the out keyword. So that's it. It's very good right now. Just going to close the door. Okay, we're just going to increment the value here, and else, if not, what are we going to do? We want to add a new entry here, and it's just key value. So we are going to remember this part is important. We need to add the lower part because the key should be the same, and then just a new data. And here we are going to use the shorthand version, which is much easier. Okay, letter here. I wish there was some kind of autocomplete is lower, so we can just use char, built-in char is lower. I've written is lower right now. Maybe my attention is not completely on this exercise, which is bad. Maybe not. Okay, so count then is 1. Should be good. Let's not forget our curly braces and necessary space. So we just check a quick look on that. Maybe we just put this at the biggest part. Just put it full screen. Okay, let's just get it back. So dictionary add. We add if it doesn't exist. If it exists, we are going to take this value. Otherwise, we add it, and the key is a lower key, and the new data we keep the value as well. But yeah, we need this value because we need to check it if it exists. So maybe we don't even need this value actually. I'm thinking right now, we perhaps don't even need the letter, so I'm just keeping it right now. Maybe, let's see, we don't need this value and the count here. So okay, we've already iterated through the list. Now we are going to simply count it. I think that's enough. We just need to return the first value. So what you need to understand is that a dictionary is ordered. Is it? I think it's not ordered, but however, by ordered, I'm not sure. I need to check it out. But in JavaScript, for example, a hash is not ordered. I think it is the same in Ruby. So, but here we have an ordered version because we are iterating the letter orderly and the string. So stress starts with st and so on and so forth. Right now, what we are going to simply be doing is to check the first value. That's it. We are going to do it in a procedural iterative manner. That's it. So item that value because we are looking for the value. Remember, a dictionary is key value pair. So we first check if it's the first one. If true, we need the first one, but the count should be one because it should exist only one. Now, of course, we need to determine because remember in the instruction they said that do we want to return the lowercase or uppercase? So it depends. If the value was uppercase, we need to return the uppercase value. So we are going to return the item that value. And here, we don't even need to, wait, we need to check if it's lower, is the value lower, then we return the item value dot letter string. Otherwise, we are going to do the same thing, value dot letter to string. And do we need to put to string? I just have this in C#. Whenever I type, I have the tendency to write. So it seems to be good. I have a tendency to use to string, but of course, letter, we need to remember here, letter is a char. So at the end of the day, we need to return a string here, of a value. So if we have nothing, we return an empty space as per the instruction. So it seems to be good for us, at least to cover the basics ones. Also, the codes are very clear as well. So let's see. It's going to run right now, and let's see if it's going to work. So annotation, new label annotation context. So I don't really understand what is it. Of course, it's not going to work completely because we need to have edge cases, but it seems that it has been working for all. You have passed all the tests. Wow, it looks quite nice, to be honest. So let's just submit it and see let's just see the different versions. I'm very satisfied. It's good one. Wow, I'm already very impressed with the first one. It uses a declarative approach, so let's go quickly through it. I prefer using declarative most of the time because it's more readable, but I've not also developed these skills entirely in C#, but I can do it in most cases. Of course, it's not a problem. So here we just have our method, take x, and we are grouping by to lower. So we are going to have everything. So this is quite interesting. I don't know why, because it seems that right now we have every single character to lower and we group by it. But how does this function differentiate between then default if empty? So here it's going to take the first default or if empty. So I think it's just going to return an empty string. So it's just going to check the count and select x. It's the first x to string. So it's nice code, but I don't really understand what's happening. gr.count, where group by character. So it's quite interesting. I don't know what's happening right now, but hey, this is live, and maybe this one is a bit more interesting. So like you said, yeah, like you see, my solution is very readable, very understandable. Of course, I use for each loop twice, so maybe there is another way to do it that's better in terms of performance as well. And this one is pretty good, but I'm trying to figure out what's happening, and it seems that it's not that easy to. Because this one is also interesting. It's not that easy to understand as well. We group by to lower. We take the first or the default one, and then we count if one first string or the string that's empty, which is like none in other language. I think like Python. So I think that it's a very interesting exercise. If you like these kinds of exercise, of course, consider to subscribe. And if you have any question, please do ask. See you later.